There used to be 7 moons in our sky. Now there's only one. This is the story of the night the sky lost 6 moons in a row, and the one girl who stopped it from losing the last. Long before ships had names and before maps had lines, the old people say the sky held 7 moons instead of one. Each moon had its own color and its own light. One glowed silver, one glowed gold. One was soft blue, like the sea at dawn. Together, they never let the world go fully dark. Farmers worked through the night. Fishermen never lost their way. Children played outside long after sunset, because the sky was always bright enough to see by. Then Bakunawa came. Bakunawa was a giant serpent, longer than any river, living deep beneath the ocean. No one knew where she came from. Some said she was born from the first storm. Others said she had always been there, sleeping until something woke her. What woke her was hunger, and nothing in the sea could fill it. So she looked up. The first moon vanished on a clear night, without warning. People simply looked up and found the green moon gone, swallowed whole as if it had never been there. The villagers were afraid, but they told themselves it was strange weather or a trick of the clouds. They still had 6 moons left. The sky was still bright. Then the gold moon disappeared. Then the blue one. One by one, month after month, Bakunawa rose from the sea and ate the sky, moon by moon, until only one was left. Small, pale, and alone in the dark. A young girl named Alunsina lived in a fishing village on the southern coast. She was 12 years old, the daughter of a boatmaker, and she remembered every single moon that had vanished, because her grandmother used to name them for her before bed. When the last one goes, her grandmother told her one night, voice trembling, the world stays dark forever. Alunsina didn't sleep again for a long time after that. The night Bakunawa came for the final moon, the whole village gathered outside, terrified, watching the sky. The water in the bay began to churn. Waves pulled back further than anyone had ever seen, exposing wet sand and confused fish flopping in the open air. Then, slowly, a shape began to rise from the deep. Scales the size of doors, eyes like twin fires, and a mouth wide enough to swallow a boat whole. Bakunawa opened her jaws toward the sky. The villagers screamed and ran, all except Alunsina, who remembered something her grandfather used to say, back when he was still alive, an old trick fishermen used when storms grew too loud to bear. She ran to her father's boat shed and grabbed every metal pot, pan, and gong she could carry. Then she ran back to the shore and began to bang them together as hard as she could, screaming into the noise, telling the whole village to do the same. At first, no one listened. They were too afraid to move. Then one old fisherman picked up his own pot and struck it. Then another. Within minutes, the entire village was banging metal together, screaming, filling the air with the loudest, ugliest noise they could make. Bakunawa froze mid-swallow. The last moon still caught between her open jaws. The noise confused her, hurt her even. Her ears, built for the silence of the deep ocean, were not made for this. She thrashed in the shallow water, trying to escape the sound, but the villagers only banged harder, closing in around the shoreline, refusing to stop. Alunsina banged 2 iron pots together so hard her arms ached, tears streaming down her face, screaming at the great serpent to let go, to leave their sky alone. Finally, unable to bear the noise any longer, Bakunawa spat the moon back into the sky and dove beneath the waves, disappearing into the dark water she'd come from. The moon hung crooked and trembling above the village for a moment, as if catching its breath. Then it settled into place, glowing pale and whole, the only moon left in a sky that used to hold 7. The village didn't sleep that night. They sat on the shore until morning, watching the moon, making sure it was still there every time they blinked. When dawn finally came, the moon faded with the daylight, not because Bakunawa had taken it, but because that is what moons are supposed to do. Alunsina grew old in that same village, and she told the story of the last moon to every child who would listen. The same way her grandmother once told her about the moons that came before. She never saw Bakunawa again. But sometimes, on certain nights, the moon would dim slightly, its light swallowed at the edges, as if something far below the sea was testing its hunger again. On those nights, Alunsina was always the first to grab a pot and start banging it. And because of her, so was everyone else in the village, for generations after. The story of Bakunawa is one of the oldest myths in the Philippines, used for centuries to explain something real, the lunar eclipse. In many parts of the country, this belief lasted long into recent history. During an eclipse, people would step outside and bang pots, pans, and gongs together, believing the noise would scare Bakunawa into releasing the moon. Today, we understand eclipses through science, but the tradition of noise and the story behind it is still remembered as one of the most iconic legends in Philippine folklore. So the next time the moon turns dark in the middle of the night, just for a little while, you'll know the old story behind it. If you enjoyed this legend, let us know in the comments. Did your own family ever have a story like this one? And if you want more Filipino folklore brought to life, subscribe to Folklore of the Archipelago. A new legend awaits every week.